Hello. Hi, how's it going? Does it sound lovely? Does it sound great?
Is everyone ready? Thank you all for being here today. I want to clarify my response to a question in yesterday's news conference about the arrest of Jamie Shelby for the murder of Tasha White. My intent was to update the public about this case without compromising our ability to successfully prosecute it. I apologize, particularly to Ms. White's family, for the lack of sensitivity and the lack of clarity in my words and how that contributed to their pain. I should not have said it that way. I want to make clear, Mr. Shelby is the person responsible for the murder and death of Tasha White. After consulting further with detectives in this case, I will now provide you with more details about the evidence that we've uncovered in this case. Mr. Shelby, who is a convicted felon, is charged with the murder of Tasha White. Mr. Shelby and Ms. White were involved in a romantic relationship. Evidence shows that at the time of her murder, the two were en route together to commit another murder. She was killed using her own gun. The last evidence we have of Tasha White being alive is her taking down surveillance cameras at her own house around 2 a.m. on April 29th. Her cell phone was turned off at this time and left at her house. This is often done to obscure someone's location or hide their movements. We have learned that in the days leading up to April 29th, she purchased several items from stores to aid in this murder plot, including dark clothing. She was reported missing ultimately on May 1st, and when her body was recovered on May 7th, she was wearing the clothing that she had purchased several days before in furtherance of that murder plot. My vagueness yesterday did not reflect the message I intended to convey and created confusion. I acknowledge that, and I apologize for that. I share this information now to give you context and information on a very complicated case. This is still a very active investigation, and there could be additional arrests in the future. Our detectives are working diligently to build a case that ensures that those responsible receive the punishment they deserve and her family is left with a sense of justice. I'll take a few questions at this time, understanding that there's very little additional information that I can add about the specifics of that case.
So just to clarify, did another murder take place?
No, another murder did not take place.
How were you able to come to the conclusion that they were on their way or in the process of another?
So the question was, how did we determine that they were on their way or in the process of another murder? A lot of this information we knew very early on, so in the initial questions that we had about the missing persons report and everything like that, we had already discovered a lot of this information, but because we had not collected enough of it at that time, and detectives were still working to make sure that they could get enough evidence to make an arrest and prosecute this case, we were unable to give that at the time.
Is there a motive?
Is there a motive? That's going to be left for the prosecutors and the detectives to deal with during the prosecution.
When we talk a lot with you about community trust, that's something that you have repeatedly said is very important to you.
Yes.
Today, we've heard from a lot of people who say the insensitivity of your comments, the nature of your comments yesterday really shattered that trust for them. What would you say to those people?
So the question was about the nature of my comments damaging community trust. I completely understand that. That's why I'm telling you today that I used a bad choice of words and that and should have spoken differently. We have a responsibility to make sure that the public trusts not only that we're going to do the right thing, but we're going to do it competently. And yesterday I used a poor choice of words that did not build that trust. That being said, I think what you have seen out of me and out of this staff is more transparency, more honesty, more openness about the operations of Louisville Metro Police and about what we're doing than has ever been given. I'm going to misspeak. I think I spoke for 25 or 30 minutes yesterday, and I made one bad sentence. Unfortunately, that was an impactful sentence, and that's why we're here today, is to make sure that I am transparent in showing that I understand that, and we want to make that right.
If you could speak directly to the family, is there anything else you'd like to add or say specifically to them?
I'm heartbroken for their loss. I can't imagine the pain of losing a sister, a daughter, a loved one in that way. And it is our goal to make sure that we serve their interest and make sure that justice is served for them.
Critics have also today spoken about how it was an ongoing investigation. You said that much in your comments before. Why didn't the comment you did make yesterday when it wasn't a long investigation?
Oh, I shouldn't have made the comment yesterday. That's the whole point. It was an attempt to not give information, knowing that I'm sitting on a lot of information about this case, as I still am. I default towards giving information, and I should have just shut up yesterday.